scourge never end. Look at this new evil backslider. Now, what do we have here? We have Element Games in Stockport. It's one of my favourite places. Hello! Look, proper camera. Look at that. My goodness, I'm going to be blown out the water here. Let's meet everyone. Look, we've got Dropzone Commander going on today. Oh, it's just the mighty armies. There we go. I recognise Vampios. There he is. Hello, sir. How are you? Very good. And you're in action. Who's winning?
No one.
It's a stupid question in Dropzone. You don't know who's winning. Yeah.
No one's got anything.
Excellent players. If you want to buy some raffle tickets, come to the judges' table.
So it's going to be 1,500 points. Look at that. Look. The amazing boards from Uncertain Scenery. Look at that. 3D heaven, I tell you. 1,500 points resistance against PHR. We've also got the buildings there from Darkops, which look great. Marvellous. And look, there we go. Oasis Palms. Look at that. Mighty, imposing. So 1,500 points. What we got in your army, Warlord Craig?
It's the standard army that I usually use.
Okay,
with,
go for it. Take me through.
Alexander M3 on a stolen lift hawk, obviously the black thing.
Ah, yes, some sort of vandalism going on there, yeah.
Units of free riders, which will be coming out later on.
Of course.
Gun trucks on the Zoopark.
Very accurate, anti-air for some reason, yes.
6 barrage trucks.
Yep.
Infantry attachment with 3 Jacksons
Yep.
and 6 troops.
Yep.
Of course, another 3 troops. Lift hawk with Mechmeds, lift hawk with Zooparks, and another detachment of free riders.
Excellent, very good. And what level's your commander?
4.
4, ooh. And 1,500 points of post-Human Republic. We've got the Hera with the Guardian bodyguard there. Lots of fast firepower. Not great firepower, but fast firepower nonetheless. Standard pantheon of Phobos anti-air with Menchits supporting them. Then we've got an Immortals standard infantry group, phalanx. Then we've got another phalanx of infantry which has got normal Immortals there to the right and long reach Immortals there for a bit of snipery shenanigans, and all the infantry has been brought in on Tritons, as you can see there. We've got this second pantheon of infantry being supported by Apollo, I believe, yeah, Apollo, fast jump walkers, which might be useful for the scenario that I think we're playing today. We've got heavy support from the mighty Scorpion of Doom, the Hades, super heavy Type 4 walker with a bodyguard, as I call it, of Helios to protect it against air attack. Then our Pegasus Special Ops group, including 4 drones, a Medusa with her Triton X, and Sirens with the Triton. So there we go, 1,500 points, and I believe it's a level 4 commander. So our objectives for today, we've got to look at all these counters down here. We've essentially got to explore this cityscape, and we've got to look, we've got to land on or put troops in the buildings of all of these counters, and when you do that, you turn the counter over. If there's white underneath it, that is a victory point. If you then get that white counter off the cityscape, you get a further victory point, and that's essentially it. So we don't generally play kill points. We Warlord Craig and I always play for the objective. We're playing corner to corner. That's going to be one of the deployment zones, and that's going to be one of the others, or this side, I guess.
Yeah.
Which way?
Just check it.
Warlord Craig wins the roll-off to see who picks which side. He chooses that corner, so he's going to deploy there and move on that way, which means I deploy in this here corner to move on to the field that way. So it's going to be essentially along that board edge and along that board edge there, a foot either side, and that's how we're allowed to come in. It's my command card for round 1. So first battle group, Warlord Craig decides to go first with the roll-off. He lift hawk in, and then just explodes Jacksons and infantry out from his lift hawk. Jacksons there, and there. 2 buildings are searched. That one has an objective in it, but there's nothing there. That one has a possible objective in it, and there's nothing there. And he also deploys from that Jackson onto a possible objective, and there's nothing there. So it's a really good start, being able to look for 3 things in the first turn. And he also puts a battle bus on. From there. Warlord Craig, have you deployed that infantry from that battle bus?
They are there.
Okay, so that infantry's there as well. In my first activation in turn 1, I move my command on, Hera and Guardian, to there. They don't pick anything up, but they do spot infantry all the way over there. Now, their railguns are infinite range, so they take a pop and actually kill 8 of them. Second battle group from Warlord Craig. What did you do, Warlord Craig?
I have brought on some gun trucks.
Yep.
In a small hovercraft.
That's it.
And
in the corner there.
The storm wagons.
Second activation of the first turn. Triton comes on with the Immortals, so it's just the Immortals phalanx with just the one group of Immortals in there. The Triton sits down on a possible objective. There's nothing in it. The Immortals come in here, search the building, and look, there's a white one there, so that's actually an objective, so I've now got to try and get that off the table. So one of my favourite sets of units has come on. It's Warlord Craig's heavy hitters. It's a lift hawk with not the Zukov, the Mechmed building destruction tanks. Really like them. Very powerful, but very balanced because they're very short range. Really like those. And Zukovs, which are really absolutely brutal anti-air tanks, and they're essentially hanging off the bottom of that their lift hawk. It's time for my large Immortals phalanx, and move firstly supporting Apollos, and they find range on some infantry in the distance there. And I take a shot and take out 3 infantry caught in the open. I then move infantry to this building here. Nothing in the building. There was a potential objective, but I didn't find anything. However, the Triton then lands on and finds a possible objective there, so that's very helpful and interesting. And then I move Immortal Longreach to there just to hide behind. They're not out of there, they're still in the Triton, they're just so I remember who's there, and hopefully they'll take a good firing position for the next couple of turns. Fourth activation then, we have the Alexander's command tanks lift hawk coming in there. And has landed, and it's looked at a potential objective, and there was nothing sadly there. So Warlord Craig has actually finished his activations. I've got one more. I have my standard group. I've moved on Phobos anti-air and dumped them there on the ground, and they looked at a potential objective and found nothing, and I put these Mentrix sneakily behind here because I have a feeling that a driller's going to be coming up and giving me jip, so I'm going to need some flamers to help deal with those, I think. The Hades shoots down there at some infantry in the distance, all the way over, there we go, and kills another, how many of them was it? 4? Another 4 infantry in that exposed team there. And finally, my Spec Ops Pegasus group have come on. I've put the drones on there, so essentially they can fly down into this 3D, because we've got these 3D sections. They're going to fly down that road essentially, see what they can pick up before they're taken out. And I've got the Medusa and the Sirens in their Tritons. The Tritons are still in the air, hiding behind that they're building, and they're moving over to try and sweep round to the left, see if we can clear up some objectives from these buildings here. Warlord Craig did actually activate 2 battle groups by accident at once. Not a great problem, it's just a battle bus with some infantry, and it didn't really put me to any disadvantage, so we're going to leave that as it is. So, in the beginning of the second turn, I play a Devilish card, which lowers the command value of Warlord Craig to 1. I therefore win the initiative. And on we go. My first activation. Warlord Craig has a lot of stuff that can destroy buildings in his army, so I have got my Immortals out of that building as my first activation. There's other things I could do that would be more destructive to him, but if I'm keeping my eyes on the prize and going for the objectives, I've got to prioritise the objectives themselves, and so I've got the infantry into the Triton and taken them off the edge of the board, and that leaves me with one victory point that's got off, so that's 2. That actually doubles to 2, so I'm on 2 victory points so far, and I've found 3 pieces of potential intelligence that didn't amount to anything. Warlord Craig, how many pieces of intelligence did you actually collect last turn?
Zero intelligence.
But how many did you pick up?
5.
5, so actually you did find more than me, so that's... oh no, I found 5 too.
And you got 2 objectives.
Yeah. So actually we're about equal on our efficiency in finding things. So that's very interesting too. So on to Warlord Craig's first activation. Warlord Craig successfully rolls to deploy his drill. So he's going to place that now. He's been a bit more careful about where he places it this time. He's certainly suffered from placing it too close to my army in the past and lost it pretty quick. So he's putting it there, about in the centre of the board. Oh, he's putting it in cover. Ooh, that's very interesting indeed. Scatters, and actually goes 6 inches. Oh, into the road. There we go. Then I move my second activation. I move my Immortals long reach squad into this building here. I have a look for potential objective, and there's nothing there. And hide the Triton behind the building there. I put the Apollos, they've walked on there because they can't jump in their first turn, so they've walked on there, then they've bounced over to there, had a shot at the drill down there, taken another wound off it, so it's taken 2 wounds so far. So Warlord Craig come over to his side. He's moved up here, this shadowy street here. He's moved to Liftwalk up there, and he's dropped off his 2 Mechmed building destruction tanks, and he's also dropped his Zukov anti-air heavy tanks there, giving them a good field of view with their 36-inch range anti-air cannon. So my Hera commands go from essentially where they came off in their deployments, and they've hopped over onto this marvellous looking bridge here. They've looked down at the drill over there, shot it, and taken 2 more points of damage off of it. Warlord Craig activates his terrible rocket trucks, artillery. They send a stream of heavy missiles from there over to the building with the long reach in. It hits, they take cover, and it doesn't wound them. He rolls a 1, so I was really lucky then. So then, in revenge for that lucky escape, my long reach get up, dust themselves off, only to get a 90mm cannon shot in the gob from the same battle group with the gun trucks in it. That Kraken's 90mm cannon, killing 2 of the long reach with falling masonry. So the heavy Pantheon moves forward. The Hades Scorpion of Doom and Death moved forward. The Helios with it. The Helios took some ineffectual shots at the building, did a couple of points of damage, but that's okay, you've got to do it. There's no one in it, but you've got to destroy buildings because I'm PHR, it's in my cybernetic blood. Then the Hades moved up, it healed some point of damage on my wounded infantry in that building. It fired its nose chain gun at the free riders in the dip there, but their huge and amazing countermeasures, they got evasion countermeasures 3, meant I hit once and failed to wound, so hey ho. And then the massive repeater rail cannon on the back shot at his Zukovs over there, which are now absent, so I hit each of them once and doubled up on the rolled highly for the damage, and actually wiped 2 Zukovs out. So that's very important. They're heavy tanks and they're really useful at anti-air, so it'll give you a lot of freedom of movement, I hope. So activation 5 for the resistance. In turn 2, Warlord Craig moved his Alexander command tank up into an imposing position on this bridge, looking down this road, hoping to start to pick off some of my walkers that have exposed themselves on the bridge there. So last activation of the turn, Warlord Craig moves his battle bus. Where did you move your battle bus, Warlord Craig? there, so it didn't do anything as such. It just moved it on his corner, and then I moved my Pegasus group. I moved my Triton X there and dropped a Medusa there on the floor, looking for a potential objective with nothing there. Moved my drones forward a little bit because there's a few things to explore over there. Look, a 6-inch move, and hopefully they'll find something. And there was a Triton with some sirens that had found an objective, and that leaves me, that's gone off the board, and that leaves me with 2 objectives that are safely off the board. So I'm on 4 victory points so far. Not sure. So end of turn 2, I found 5 zilches and 2 actual objectives. How many have you found, Wall or Craig?
I got 8.
8. So you're actually being efficient, just unlucky. Yeah. So there was a tense roll for third turn. We both got 6s, so we were both we got 6s. We thought we were going first, but we then realised the other person got a 6. So we re-rolled. We were both AV4, so it's just a dice roll against a dice roll, and I managed to win by 1. So I will elect with the PHR to go first. Underground monorail from there to there. There we are. Ooh, it's frightening. Really pushing forward on this flank here. It's a bit frightening. I don't know what to do. If I find something, how am I going to get it home? But I guess that's what we'll have to try and do. Hades actually activated first because I wanted to go at his drill. His drill's really horrible, and had another unit of free riders. And free riders are, how do we describe free riders?
Fast and buggers.
There you go. There you go. That's a tactical assessment by Warlord Craig of them. I used experimental gyros to move the Hades forward. It actually moved on to a potential objective, which was turned out to be nothing. The chin guns had a go at the free riders there. You'll notice there were 9 before. It killed a couple of them. I then dropped black nano machine, strength 10, medium template weapon onto the drill. Now, dear watchers, commanders, you'd think that killed it, but no, because the drill's not there, so it was killed. But the nano machines actually missed, and then they scattered right dead bang on top of all of those guys, and they actually did a lot of damage. So the chin guns and the black nano machines combined have done all that damage, so that's pretty good. Also, actually, a couple more of them were killed by the Helios, which moved up in support, and also shots down onto those. So a lot of firepower expended to kill, 7 or 8 motorbikes. So, I did well in killing them, but I don't know. I think Warlord Craig should be happy with the fact it took a lot of firepower to do it. Then finally, I used the heavy rail repeater from the Hades to finish off the drill. Now that's good tactics, I guess, if I'm to take any credit for a game. Which I don't normally. It's normally by luck than judgment, but that enabled me to keep a unit of free riders underground. They can't now come out.
Yep,
so there we go. I think that may be a plea to rules people is one day then maybe they go into reserve and have to spend 2 turns and then come in after 2 turns or something like that. That'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? But yes, I've killed the drill and got rid of them. Turn 3, activation 1 for the resistance. Warlord Craig pulls his infantry forward here to search this building with nothing in it. A Jackson also goes out down there from its lift hawk onto a possible objective, finds nothing, and that Jackson coming up the hill there, running up that hill, as the famous song implies, possibly to look for that very soon. So second activation of turn 3, I moved drones over there, and they're actually able to cover 2 objectives, and they were both nothing. I'm going to come over, look at this wonderful place, look at that, brilliant. Excuse me, thank you very much. And then I moved my Medusa into the Triton, and then the Medusa redeployed into that building there and found nothing with the Triton X there in support, and then the Siren Triton moved all the way up there into, oops, I'm dropping something there, moved all the way up there to hopefully push forward in the next couple of turns. Activation 2 in turn 3, Warlord Craig attempts to kill my Triton there that's moved forward with the sirens in, and sadly fails, hits once and fails to wound the Triton. Lucky escape there. Picks up the mech meds and then moves forward to obviously have a look at that next turn would be my guess. Fair enough, very good move. And then your other Lift Hawk for that
Did a
battle
little
group.
circle.
Did a little circle. Where is it now?
It was here.
Was there?
It went to here.
Went to there.
And then went to there.
And it's over there currently. There we go. Very good. So my fourth activation, my commanders hop over to there to look at another objective. So actually they've gone quite far into the board now. There we go. And then they shoot at the free riders that are over there. They wound another free rider. Evasion countermeasures being -3 to hit, so they do hit once and wounded the free riders, and the remaining free rider, a single motorcyclist, brave in the face of adversity, moved up and looked at this objective here, and there was nothing there. And the command did land on an objective as well, and there was a potential objective, and there was nothing there either. So we're gonna call it at turn. What was that? Turn 3, are we in? 3. As I activate my standard Pantheon, and essentially just the Neptune buzzes down there and finds the final objective. Now, though that's we're going to call it there because I've now got the advantage. I've wiped out the AA there, so that was helpful earlier, wasn't it? So that was close. Wiped out his AA there, and his only other AA sources really are Lift Hawks.
The 2 Lift Hawks here.
And his gun trucks, and they're not projected enough onto the board yet to actually catch the Neptune as it runs away. So there's no way that Warlord Craig can stop me getting the Neptune off next turn, moving off the edge of the board. So we're going to call that there because I've got 2 objectives there secured, 1 on there, so that's a win for the PHR. Very good. Let's have a look. Oh, right, so yeah, we're going over the board now to see where the other whites are. So all the way over there was Hope, and there. So actually they were pretty okay. Yeah, they were actually, because I was worried, because really I got lucky in the first turn to find any, and I was worried that it would be unfair the way they were set up. But actually, it wasn't that unfair. It was pretty. You had 2 in your section. I had, yeah.
3 in your half.
That's it. I've got 1 unit in that area that could have caused trouble. Those long reach could have shot your Jacksons. They went to find, but so they couldn't destroy that many. It would have been a last stand valiantly, and you'd have got through.
My next option was to hose your long.
That's right. He would have killed the long reach with his artillery. So I think, to be honest, that one and that one, I might have nipped away with the Triton, but I think your gun trucks were close enough to kill the Triton. So I think overall that was actually closer than it looks. Also, if we see, Warlord Craig with his remaining free rider did get up that far.
Yeah.
And found something that wasn't there, and then I was, 4 inches away?
Yeah, 4 inches away.
And found an objective, so you were actually really very close to finding the final objective.
If I'd have got the other free riders out, they'd have been going that way.
That's right, that's right. So and you'd have got them, and then I would have had to follow your free riders down the road. Very good. So there we go. So that was a very close. So the PHR are victorious. So guys, how did that battle go? Oh, hang on, that's not the right players. So how did that go?
I didn't play as well as I could, I felt.
Right.
Made a few mistakes, I think.
What mistakes do you think?
Deployment again. It's always
Yeah?
my deployment.
You were efficient at finding objectives.
Yes, but there was nothing there.
Yeah.
And
How many objectives did you uncover in the end?
12.
12. So you did well in getting them. How many did I get in the end? 15. So we were pretty equal overall. Yeah, 16. So we were pretty equal. I kind of forged ahead at the end with good use of infantry, I think, to get into the buildings. But other than that, pretty square, I think. So what else? You projected your Zukos forward okay.
Yeah, but then they got horribly hosed.
Yeah, maybe, and they were in cover, weren't they?
Yeah,
they were in cover, and I just unleashed a Hades at them.
I essentially pulled them in technical terms.
Yeah.
Pulled down.
Hold down, they were. That's right. He pleaded that effectively as well, and the Hades sadly nuked them. It did take a card to do it. It did take a card to do it to help with the targeting. Though I think the card didn't come into action, did it?
No.
I think it was just got 1 hit on each, and I doubled up on both rolls because it can strafe and attack 2 targets at once with 2 different shots and killed the Zukos. And really, that was your anti-air cover gone. for the centre of the board, wasn't it?
The basically long range anti-air.
Yeah.
Everything else is quite short.
I mean, my only thing is maybe the gun trucks could have got projected forward more. That's the only thing I think that went wrong with that. I think other than that, you were really tight. I think if the gun trucks were forward further, it would have been harder for me to have my way in the middle. No.
They moved
How far forward could they have got in the whole game?
5, 15. If I got to third turn, I could have been 25.
There you go. So you could have been in the middle of the board. Yeah.
Still not a long distance.
But closer than it looks. And yeah.
It was, because the objectives were findable at this
They were. You had them, you just didn't realise you had them yet. I found them and knew that I had them, but you didn't know that they were all over your side of the board. So what did I do wrong? I think I clustered my deployment a little bit much here. Look, everything's together. Although it's a very powerful battle line, I didn't spread out and find as many objectives as I wanted. And Warlord Craig has some very effective indirect fire weapons in his rocket trucks over there, so if he'd hit something there, even if it had scattered, he would have hit things and removed walkers. So that's probably what I did wrong. What did I do right? I probably used my infantry really well. They're all over the place. Look at the long reach there. Didn't get to shoot, but I decided to use them to find things, which I think was the correct decision. And then I had infantry all the way over there in those buildings and pushing down the left there. So I think that's the bit that I did all right on. And use of jump troops. Now, I used the jump troops well this game. Had Craig had more effective anti-air fire, they would have been in big trouble. Because I could walk them, so you can't hit them with anti-air, but it would have forced me to go 6 inches instead of 10 per turn. Oh, someone's asking me for tea. Am I allowed tea? Excellent, I'll have a tea, please.
3 teas.
3 teas. Thank you very much, super. You see, that's how Cool Element Games is. They actually come and order.
Wow.
They come and allow you take your order from the very table. And they've got a bar here as well. I'm having tea because I'm being good today. Might have a beer later. So great. So that's the end of the game. So as the victor is the PHR, we get to give the final goodbye. So what should I state at the end? What advice do I give to the universe? Let me think. Yes, I know what the advice should be. We were always right. Take care, everyone. Keep dropping, keep commanding.